Hi everyone, proper snowy day today, very lovely down on the farm. As you can see, I'm building the bed frame for the compost no-dig growing beds in the snow. I'm nice and warm, got my thermals on, and yeah, it's just lovely being out here in the snow. Absolutely tipping it down. Bloody cold, bloody cold. Right, it's honestly taken me 2 hours to get that on because I'm not the brightest spark in the toolbox. But yeah, it's on and it's secure. There we go. Right, so I'm going to start building the template for the beds. So for the 10 metre by 75 centimetre beds, template frame so I can pour compost in and move that around. So yeah, it took me honestly 2 hours to figure out how on earth to use these ratchet straps safely, but we've got it secured on and we've got it here without them falling off. We've got 4 days of sunshine, so it's absolutely stunning. But yeah, I'm gonna be cracking on with that. Right, got the second load of wood. I can only take 100 kilos at a time on the car, so 2 trips. Got the first load down here, but yeah, you can see it's sort of taking shape roughly. It's gonna be 10 meters of that, 10 meters of that. Compost can then go 15 centimeters deep. On top of that, layer of cardboard. Then in between, you know, we've got 30 centimeters. I put some wood chip, and then you can walk down the wood chip paths. I'll have compost here, and this is just a movable template, so we're just using that to get the right depth of compost, and we can move it on to build the next beds. And then yeah, this whole area here is going to be these 10 meter beds by 75 centimeters, all the wood chip paths in between, a main path down there. And yeah, so the first step is getting this done. Finally getting on to the interesting part of actually building stuff rather than removing stuff, which is nice. And yeah, lovely day. We've got 4 more days of this, so I better make the use of it. Right, so I've got 8 times 3.6 meter planks, and I've got to turn this pile of planks into this plan that I've drawn here. So 3.6 meter lengths there. Keep 2 of them at 3.6, and then I need 1 2.8. That makes 10 meters with these end bits taken into account. And then these sort of hold it all into place with screws through there, joints through there. And that is a 10 meter bed frame by 75 centimeters, and that's 7.5 meters squared of compost growing space. And I'll fill that with compost, move the frame, fill that with compost, and then all the beds are standardized. So that is what it's going to look like, and we'll see how it goes. Look at that beautiful sunset, glorious. So yep, I've been sawing away. I've got all the bits cut and in position, but it's not screwed in place yet. But you can see how it's gonna work. So these 2 bits will be joined here. That's gonna reinforce that, that's gonna reinforce all that. It's all in place. And then we're gonna have beds here, and then bed, and then there'll be another bed down there, and then bed. And I'm just building one of these because it's just a template and we can keep moving it. But yeah, keeps all the beds standardized and all that good stuff. Hopefully that's going to be enough to make a solid-ish structure. It's probably going to weigh a fair bit. I am slightly concerned how I'm going to move it on my own, but I'm hoping I can flip it. Once it's filled with compost, flip it, fill the next one with compost, etc. But we'll see how that pans out in reality. I'm going to come back in the morning, get all this screwed in, and then I need to look at getting that compost ordered and figuring out how on earth I'm going to get it delivered, because it's quite a tight gap around here. Got this hole down here, so any reversing lorry is going to have to take that into account. We've got this here, so yeah, hopefully it can be done, but it's a bit tight. But yeah, it feels really good to actually start building stuff, because honestly I've spent 2 months digging out blackberry roots, so I'm feeling good. Lovely winter morning. I've had a bit of dusting of snow and it's all looking like a beautiful winter wonderland here. My drill ran out of battery the other day when I was drilling these bits of woods together, so I'm back on doing this today. Got to dust all the snow off first and get it all drilled in. Hopefully it's not too difficult. Proper snowing now. I've done all this wrong. I didn't put in countersinks before, so I'm putting in countersinks now because there's another layer of wood going on top of that, so it's got to be flush. So working in the snow, it's pretty cool. Very enjoyable. Got my thermals on, got my waterproof gloves on as well. Very good. Quick update. Miserable weather, but it's warm. T-shirts on. Old Grown Underground t-shirt. I've just finished building this bed template, so that's all done. So I can get the compost ordered now. So the polytunnel is currently absolutely filthy, covered in algae and all sorts, and you can see here where it's all folded over. It's seriously dirty. Needs a good scrub. Look at this. Needs a good old scrub. Otherwise, they're going to be limiting the amount of solar radiation that's coming through, and that's what's going to warm up the greenhouse. So, gonna get scrubbing, get all this algae off, and then let a lot more light through. So I've had a go at this side already, and yeah, you can almost see through it. Whereas this, it's a bit more difficult. So that's the job for today. I think this is the worst thing that I've ever made, but it does the job of getting the roof done. But yeah, gotta be careful so I don't puncture the polytunnel. But does the job, does the job. Insulating all the cracks. Look at those massive cracks. Bit of pipe insulation seals it all up nicely. Right, so we've had a delivery of Quick Pot, and this is what I'm going to be starting all the seeds in. So I've gone for a heavy duty version. They reckon they'll last 10 years, these ones, with careful use. So you can see I'm proper flexing that, and it's all right. If I show you these cheaper ones, you know, you can crumble them with your fingers. That's gonna be no good for regular use. So yeah, same pressure there, and it's, you know, flexing, but not cracking. Whereas this, you know, you see the difference. So probably work out, I think it was around £3 per one, coming 25 in a box. Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. I did look at some of the other ones from Container Wise and things like that. But yeah, they were about £7 or £8 per tray. So yeah, I'd say, well, I've not used them yet, but these look pretty good. So we'll see how we get on. We'll see how many fit out on this table. So we've got 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 times 3, 24. So yeah, each bench takes about 24. I've got 4 benches. So yeah, just shy of 100 trays. It's going to look pretty good when sort of visualize all the plants growing up out of here. So yeah, there we go. So something exciting happened the other day. All the seeds for the polytunnel have arrived. So I've gone for tomato seeds. We've got some lemon peppers, some nice squash, pumpkin, yellow cherry tomatoes, oxheart tomatoes, black pearl aubergine, a couple of different types of courgettes, some yellow ones and some green ones. Then yeah, a few more tomato varieties. And a couple of cucumbers. And that's what's going to be going in the polytunnel. Also today, going to be getting some soil samples. So I'm going to fill these jars 2 inches high with soil, fill it with water, give it a shake up. And that's going to show us the percentage of silt, sand, clay, etc. in the soil, so I know what sort of soil I'm working with. So let's see what it looks like. So dug a small little hole here. I've got my jar. I'm going to fill 2 inches where that marker is. And then I'll fill it up with water, give it a shake and let it settle. And it'll give us a better idea of the composition of the soil. So we'll try not to get any worms in there. And we'll see what the results are. So yeah, fill it up to that line, rest with water, shake it up, let it settle, and it'll separate all the layers of silt, clay, sand, etc. And we can see what the soil's like. Taking a sample here, next to the polytunnel, where another polytunnel's gonna go. Sample there, and a sample over there as well. I'm just going to fill these to the top. Then I'm going to get the lid screwed on properly, give them a good old shake, let them settle over a day or two. It should be clear what we've got in there. Right, so I've just got these arrows to indicate where the different soil samples have come from. So that's the entrance there, track down the middle. The care home is over there. That's where the nursery is, where there's already a polytunnel. That's where I'm building the second polytunnel. So I've taken a sample from where the polytunnels will be. Sample B. And it's hard to make out here, but you can basically distinguish the layers of sand, silt and clay. And we've got about 11% clay, 50% silt and 40% sand. Over here, where all the beds are going to be, pretty similar but a bit more sandy, which is good for root vegetables. It's got about 10% clay, a third silt and 50–60% sand. And then over here on the other side of the track, we've got, again, half sand, 40% silt, less than 10% clay. So it's pretty good. It's quite fertile, well draining, but still holds moisture. Silty loamy soil. Quite pleased with it. I'm going to send some samples off to get properly analysed, but it's a good indication that the composition is quite good, which is reassuring. So yeah, a bit of a close-up, but you can see that top layer of clay, a layer of silt, and then the sand at the bottom. So yeah, all you have to do is 2 inches of soil, shake it up with water with a teaspoon of washing up liquid, and it'll separate the sand, silt and the clay. And then you can work out by using a ruler and how many millimetres each section is. You can work out the percentage. I actually hate using AI, but I actually put in the various compositions, and yeah, it reckons it's pretty good. Loamy soil for growing vegetables in. Right, I've just come to measure up these old polytunnel frames, see how I'm going to transport them. I've got 57 of these, and yeah, they're all laid flat now, and then they do all have a little bit of rebar which they fit into. That keeps them in place. And yeah, second hand, 2.5 meters tall, 4.5 meters wide. So I think it's a good way to get some polytunnels cheaply and see how it goes, invest some more money if it goes well. So let's see.